Hello, it's me, Oscar from Marijuana Garden.
The May 2025 palindrome sequence, Unpacking the Rare Phenomenon. The inherent intrigue of numerical patterns and symmetry, particularly as they appear in everyday life, often captivates human curiosity. Palindrome dates, which read the same forwards and backward, offer a fascinating intersection of mathematics and our perception of time. This report specifically addresses the upcoming sequence of palindrome dates from May 20th to May 29th, 2025, and critically assesses whether this particular sequence truly constitutes a rare phenomenon. This analysis will delve into the definition of palindrome dates, meticulously examine the May 2025 sequence within its specific context, and rigorously evaluate its rarity by comparing it to other palindromic date patterns across various global formats. The overarching goal is to provide a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of what truly defines a rare palindrome date. At its core, a palindrome date is a numerical sequence that maintains identical readability, whether traversed forwards or backward, akin to word palindromes such as Bob. When determining if a date possesses this symmetrical property, common practice dictates that delimiters like hyphens or slashes, along with capitalization, are typically disregarded. The classification and frequency of a palindrome date are profoundly influenced by the chosen date format. This dependency is not merely incidental, it fundamentally shapes the very existence and perceived scarcity of such a numerical curiosity. A date that exhibits palindromic qualities in one format may entirely lose this property when represented differently. For instance, May 21st, 2025, written as 5/21/25, is a palindrome in the month-day 2-digit year format. However, if expressed as day-month 4-digit year, like 21/5/2025 or 21/05/2025, its symmetrical nature vanishes. This inherent variability underscores that the concept of a palindrome date is not a universally fixed attribute, but rather a construct relative to specific representational conventions. Globally, 3 primary date formats are widely adopted, each influencing the manifestation of palindromes. Middle Endian, which is MMDWYY or MD2Y, is predominantly utilized in countries such as the United States and the Philippines. This format is particularly relevant to the May 2025 sequence under examination. Little Endian, which is DDMYYY or DDMYA, is employed by a significant portion of the world, including nations like the United Kingdom, Germany and India. Big Endian, which is YYY MEMDD, is standardized by ISO 8601 and popular in countries such as Canada, China and Japan. While many dates achieve palindromic status within one of these specific formats, a distinct and exceptionally rare category exists: the global palindrome day. These are dates that exhibit palindromic symmetry across all 3 major full-year formats, which are YY, MMDD, DDMM, YY, and MMDYY. The extreme scarcity of these occurrences provides a definitive benchmark for objective rarity. For example, only 11 such global palindrome days are documented between the years 1000 and 9999. The last instance was February 2nd, 2020, which is February 2nd, 2020, and had not been seen in over 908 years, since November 11th, 1111, which is November 11th, 1111. The next global palindrome day is projected to be December 12th, 2121, which is December 12th, 2121, more than a century away. This stark contrast between format-specific palindromes and truly universal ones is essential for a precise and accurate assessment of rarity. Beyond dates, the concept of palindromes extends to various domains, including words, phrases, musical compositions, and even biological structures like genes, highlighting a universal human appreciation for symmetrical patterns. The specific sequence of dates generating recent discussion spans from May 20th, 2025 through May 29th, 2025. This constitutes a notable streak of 10 consecutive palindrome dates. Crucially, these dates are palindromic when written in the month, day, two-digit year format. The very structure of this format, particularly its reliance on a two-digit representation for the year, is directly responsible for enabling this consecutive numerical symmetry. If a different date format were universally applied, this particular streak would simply not manifest, demonstrating that the phenomenon itself is a direct consequence of this specific representational choice rather than an inherent universal property of the dates. The full list of these dates and their palindromic representation in the month, day, two-digit year format is as follows. May 20th, 2025, 5/2025, May 21st, 2025, 5/21/25, May 22nd, 2025, 5/22/25, May 23rd, 2025, 5/23/25, May 24th, 2025, 5/24/25, May 25th, 2025, 5/25/25, May 26th, 2025, 5/26/25, May 27th, 2025, 5/27/25, May 28th, 2025, 5/28/25, May 29th, 2025, 5/29/25. It is also worth noting that May 2025 features an additional palindrome date in this format, May 2nd, 2025, May 2nd, 25, which precedes the 10-day consecutive streak, bringing the total for the month to 11 palindrome dates. Despite the public perception of these dates as rare and the viral buzz they generate on social media, this excitement is largely driven by their commonality within a widely used format rather than universal rarity. The public's perception of specialness and its accessibility within a familiar date system often overrides the objective statistical frequency. This observation highlights a disconnect between a phenomenon's actual mathematical prevalence and its cultural impact, where human interest and social amplification can transform a statistically frequent occurrence into a perceived phenomenon. The rarity of palindrome dates is not a binary condition, but a continuous spectrum, entirely contingent on the date format utilized. What might be a common occurrence in one format can be exceptionally rare in another. This variability is directly tied to the complexity and length of the date format itself. In this format, which is primarily used in the United States, consecutive palindrome dates are demonstrably not rare. A streak of 10 consecutive palindrome days has been an annual occurrence every year since 2011. This consistent pattern reveals a predictable, non-random behavior. The month in which this streak occurs unfailingly corresponds to the last digit of the year. For example, in 2011, ending in 1, the streak occurred in January, first month. In 2012, ending in 2, it was in February, second month. In 2017, ending in 7, it was in July, seventh month. In 2018, ending in 8, it was in August, eighth month. And in 2019, ending in 9, it was in September, ninth month. Similarly, April 2024, ending in 4, featured 11 palindrome dates, including 10 consecutive ones, and March 2023, ending in 3, also had 11, with 10 consecutive. The May 2025, ending in 5 streak continues this predictable trend. This highly specific and consistent pattern indicates that these consecutive streaks are not random, rare events, but rather a deterministic outcome of the MD-Day format's mathematical structure. Their annual recurrence demonstrates that they are an expected feature for users of this format, directly challenging the notion that these specific streaks are rare phenomena from a statistical standpoint. Looking ahead, similar streaks are anticipated in June 2026, July 2027, August 2028, and September 2029. The prevalence of the MDD format in the United States means that these annual consecutive streaks are a common and observable phenomenon for a significant population. Conversely, in regions predominantly using the DD-MMY format, such streaks are far less frequent. This illustrates that the perception and actual occurrence rate of these numerical curiosities are not universal, but are deeply intertwined with established cultural conventions of date representation, leading to varied experiences of rarity across the globe. Frequency in MMDDI format, which stands for month, day, 4-digit year. Palindrome dates in this format are significantly rarer than their MDD counterparts. According to Professor Aziz S. Inan, an electrical engineering professor at the University of Portland, these dates tend to occur primarily in the first few centuries of each millennium. Historically, the last palindromic date in the second millennium, which spans from the years 1001 to 2000 in this format, was August 31st, 1380. For the current millennium, which runs from January 1st, 2001 to December 31st, 3000, there are only 36 such palindrome days. Within the 21st century alone, from 2001 to 2100, only 12 palindrome days are recorded in this format. The first was October 2nd, 2001, and the last will be September 2nd, 2090. Other examples include January 2nd, 2010, November 2nd, 2011, February 2nd, 2020, and December 2nd, 2021. Frequency in DDMMY format, which stands for day, month, 4-digit year. Similarly, palindrome dates in the DDMMY format are also considered hard to spot and rare. The current century will see 29 palindrome days in this format. The first was February 10th, 2001, and notably, the last will occur on a leap day, February 29th, 2092. These are the truly exceptional palindrome dates, exhibiting symmetry across all three major full-year formats: Y, D, 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 and D. Their scarcity is profound, with only 11 such days occurring between the years 1000 and 9999. The most recent global palindrome day was February 2nd, 2020, which was the first in over 908 years since November 11th, 1111. The next instance, December 12th, 2121, is over 101 years away. February 2nd, 2020, also presented additional numerical symmetries falling on the 33rd day of the year, with 333 days remaining. Furthermore, 6 of the 11 global palindrome days are also strobogrammatic, meaning they appear the same when rotated 180 degrees. The varying frequencies across these formats illustrate that the rarity of palindrome dates exists on a continuous spectrum, not as a simple binary condition. The number of digits involved and the mathematical constraints imposed by each format directly influence how often a palindrome can occur. Formats with fewer digits or truncated years, like MDDI, inherently allow for more frequent palindromes. Conversely, full-year formats and the stringent requirement for global symmetry significantly reduce their occurrence. This demonstrates that rarity is not a simple yes or no, but a gradient, with increasing mathematical stringency leading to exponentially decreasing frequency. Beyond specific dates, entire years can also be palindromic, such as 2002 or 2112. These typically occur at 110-year intervals, with shorter 11-year intervals observed at the end of each millennium, as seen from 1991 to 2002, and anticipated from 2992 to 3003. This adds another layer to the concept of numerical symmetry within our temporal markers. The human tendency to seek meaning and pattern in numerical coincidences, irrespective of their statistical rarity, significantly drives cultural fascination with palindrome dates. These dates are often imbued with a sense of perceived luck or good fortune. For instance, February 22nd, 2022, February 22nd, 22, was widely regarded as a particularly auspicious day due to the repetition of the number 2. Numerological interpretations suggest that the number 2 represents duality decisions, intuition, and balance, further enhancing its perceived significance. Some also associate these repeating sequences with angel numbers, believed to be divine guidance from celestial beings. This cultural significance is applied even to sequences that are mathematically common in certain formats, such as the May 2025 streak in MDE. This highlights a fundamental human inclination to find patterns and imbue them with special meaning, even when those patterns are mathematically frequent. The aesthetic appeal of symmetry and the desire for perceived auspiciousness appear to be stronger drivers of cultural interest than strict statistical rarity. The unique symmetry and perceived auspiciousness of palindrome dates make them popular choices for significant life events. For example, February 2nd, 2020 was a highly sought-after date for weddings. This demonstrates how an abstract mathematical property can be adopted and integrated into belief systems and social rituals. Furthermore, palindrome dates frequently generate significant online excitement, leading to viral buzz, memes, and shared predictions across social media platforms. This collective engagement transcends geographical boundaries, particularly for global palindromes, showcasing a shared human appreciation for these temporal curiosities. Adding another layer of intrigue, some palindrome dates also possess the property of being ambigrams or strobogrammatic, meaning the numbers appear the same when rotated 180 degrees. Notable examples include February 2nd, 2020 and February 22nd, 2022. This visual symmetry further enhances their appeal. The intersection of mathematical curiosity and cultural belief systems transforms these abstract numerical patterns into tangible social and even spiritual events. This transformation is evident in the choice of these dates for weddings, the attribution of spiritual meaning, and the collective engagement on social media. It demonstrates how a purely mathematical curiosity can evolve into a recurring cultural phenomenon, influencing human behavior and providing shared moments of wonder or perceived significance. Anecdotes further illustrate the personal significance people attach to these symmetrical dates. It's fascinating how these dates resonate with individuals on a personal level. A memorable instance involved a proposal on February 20th, 2002, precisely at 20:02, creating an unforgettable time and date sequence that was both a palindrome and a repetitive number. What a perfect alignment of numbers for such a special moment. The analysis of the May 20th to 29th, 2025 palindrome sequence reveals a nuanced understanding of its rarity. While indeed a notable occurrence, its classification as rare is highly dependent on the date format under consideration. In the MD-DYY format, which is prevalent in the United States, these 10-day consecutive streaks are not rare, but rather a predictable annual occurrence driven by a consistent mathematical pattern, where the month of the streak corresponds to the last digit of the year. It's quite intriguing how these patterns emerge with such regularity. However, the landscape of palindrome date frequency shifts dramatically when other formats are considered. Palindrome dates in formats such as month-day-year and day-month-year are significantly rarer, occurring only a limited number of times per century or millennium. The truly exceptional category comprises global palindrome days, which exhibit symmetry across all three major full-year formats and are exceptionally infrequent, appearing only a handful of times across millennia. The enduring human fascination with palindrome dates, regardless of their statistical frequency, underscores our innate desire to find patterns and meaning in the world around us. Their symmetrical nature continues to captivate, offering a unique blend of mathematical curiosity, cultural superstition, and a distinctive way to mark the passage of time. This fascination highlights how seemingly abstract numerical properties can be imbued with cultural significance, transforming them into shared moments of wonder and perceived auspiciousness.